Long way, get this shit a long way, this shit a long way. Long way, hit the long way, 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 shit, long way, long shit, long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long way, gotta get the shit a long way, finish rich, yeah. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long way. She don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be trippin' every day, she be trippin' every way. But I gotta get this shit a long way, yeah. Tryna get money every single way, tryna get money every single day, yeah. Get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be the new slave. No, we gotta finish rich. No, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand. She don't understand. Niggas gotta get rich. She don't understand. Sometimes we got hit lit. No, we ain't hit lit. Tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get the shit the long way, yeah. Coach you tryna wrap up a entree, yeah. Told you the other day that did my phone show. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Yeah, get the shit the long way. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like a phone way. My name is Tari, I'm not playing games, so I'm done Tari. Yesterday she told me that she about to leave, I said fuck it bitch, we gonna get some money. I said fuck it bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I went and got some money, yeah. Cause we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Back and forth like the pong way, yeah. Man, I'ma get the shit the long way, get the shit the long way. Just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy. We gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, for yeah. So we gon' get this shit the long way, we gon' get this shit long way, we gon' get this shit the long way, we gon' get this shit the long way, yeah, we get this shit the long way, yeah, cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, yeah, we gon' get the long way, yeah.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Let me get rid of this. Remove. All right. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm LJ, the founder of SMD. What's up, Andre, QJC? Welcome. And now I just get straight to the point. 1 second here. What do I do? Why am I here? Because I'm sure when you come across this channel, you have those kind of questions in your head. What is your purpose? What are you doing? You know, what are you supposed to be doing? I am here to share my gift. Okay. And the gift is, I think it's even bigger than, it's even bigger than just understanding that capitalism is psychological. It's more to say that we do have a sixth sense. We do. That is 100% fact, because our sixth sense is psychological. All right. It's bananas when you think about it, but it's psychological. Okay. It's like, you walk in a room of 3 people and then you feel something's off, like one of them's angry or mad or something. You can't explain it. You don't even know the person. You just get a bad something. Everybody has experienced that, right? If everybody has experienced it, that means it's true. That means there's something there that we obviously have, but we don't know how to use. Okay. So it's true. But I'm finding that it's always simplistic. It's the simplest of simple. It's just so bananas that it's funny, right? Now, I've been doing this for a long time now, man. A long time, right? And at first I used to get frustrated along the journey because I was getting impatient. That's what it was, right? But to go along the journey and find out we do have a sixth sense, and I spell six SIXTHCENTS. Okay, sense like the money sense. Okay, but it's the same meaning. Subdorian. It was worth the wait to understand it, how, why. It had to come in pieces coming from the debt matrix because I was just like you guys. Go to college, keep your credit score up, make a lot of money, have a career that when you say, because every time you guys meet each other, the first thing you guys ask each other is, "Hey, what do you do?" That's like a program. What do you do? That's the first question. Is that if they say, "Hey, I'm a doctor," you guys think that must. As soon as you hear somebody say, and this is an example, "Hey, I'm a doctor," you guys change or something like that means something. It doesn't. It doesn't mean anything. The title, you gotta remember, the title is given by the hospital. Like when you go to your employer and you say, "Hey, I'm so and so system engineer 3." Well, the system engineer 3 part your job gave to you. The employer owns that name. They're letting you use it while you work there, but you don't know who you are without the employer names attached to your name. Like once that name is gone, meaning unemployed, you guys don't know what to do. You don't know to stop and say, "Oh shit, who am I without that name?" I had to go through all that to get to where I'm at today talking to you guys on the mic right now. I had to go through all of it. Now, debt slaves, you guys come across me and you guys get upset at the things I say, even though it's even though it's mathematically correct. And I know it is because that's the only thing I say. I only say things that are mathematically true. That's the only thing those are the only things I talk about. At first, I used to get frustrated. I'm like, damn, how come they can't? Well, first, how come they can't understand what I'm saying, right? But first of all, I understand that the majority must be debt slaves and must die debt slaves. I understand that. That's how it has to be. That's just it. Okay, I get it. But there also must be people that understand, and that's what I believe my purpose is here for, is to reach the people that are wandering around the debt matrix like I did, because I was once a debt slave and I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't ask nobody. There was nowhere I could go. I couldn't Google it because you don't even know the question to ask. You just don't know. So if you don't know how to write the question, Google has never been asked that question. You understand? And because the majority of you guys are in debt, and that was just me, man. I'm here to reach those people to say, "Hey, whoa, wait a minute." Just like for example, I came across Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey, I was like, "Wait a minute, his math just makes sense. Let me just do that." And then that's what I did. I took what I learned from Dave Ramsey and added it to myself and just more and developed myself. You can find somebody, you might find something in them that you like, and you can just strip away all the stuff that you don't like, the religion, the 10%, putting money away into retirement. That's all stuff that he's added into his business. You can just strip away and go to the core. What is he trying to teach me? He's trying to teach me to get out of debt, and debt is bad. That's all I heard from Dave Ramsey. And I did it. I took that, added to myself, and kept going. Now here I am, psychological capitalism, discovering Sixth Sense. Now, when I when I talk to death slaves, you guys get really angry at me, like, "Oh my God, why is he talking like that? That's not true." And I came to a conclusion not too long ago. I was like, "Wait a minute, that means I'm just not saying it right. I'm obviously not telling them correctly because what I'm saying is mathematically correct. So they Now I know you guys don't know you're mad at math. See, when I'm trying to relay my message to you and you guys get angry at me, I know you're not angry at me because all I'm saying is math. So it's not really me. I'm just being the voice of math, and I'm the one you're projecting your anger towards. I get it. So I say to myself, obviously I'm not saying it right. So let me do it in a different way. How about just motivating them and inspiring them, letting them understand, letting dead slaves understand how their life will change forever once they understand how it all is and within themselves. This is all in you right now. Everything that's a, everything that has happened to me is a psychological change. Okay, nothing physical. I didn't more brain matter didn't go in my head. I didn't drink some magic potion. It was already there. I just had to find it. That's it. Nothing. And the only way you're going to find it is believing in yourself. That's what you have to do. You have to say, "I believe I can do that." Whatever it is, you say, "I believe I can do it," and then you start doing it, and then everything will happen that way. Hold on. I'm here to help those people that like, wait a minute, that is true. His math makes sense. And then as it goes, as you incorporate this into your life, your whole everything change. Like, let me give you an example. I'm gonna give you an example. Did you know 99% of your relationship problems can be eliminated? Did you guys know that? 99% of your relationship problems can be eliminated so easy. And you're probably thinking, well, how is that? Look at the person's personal credit report. That's all you guys got to do. Look at their personal credit report. Look and see how they've been treating themselves. It'll show that. Just go look at it. If it's a fucking nightmare, that's how they're gonna treat you. That's how they're gonna treat the relationship. How do you know that? Because they're treating themselves that way already. Collections, restitution, stuff they ain't paid in years, running false names, whatever. It's going to be all listed on that credit report to see how they've been treating themselves. Once you reach this level, once you reach this level of understanding, you don't date people like that. That would be a total waste of time. Total waste of time. You just You don't even pay attention. You don't even see them anymore. You just leave it to that world because people that listen, people that are that's their world. They don't know that that's their psychological world of cheating and doing stuff behind the other person's back that you say you love and you have kids on people that no, that's a world. That's a world that I am no longer part of. That has nothing to do with me. All you gotta do is look at their personal credit report. That's it. You'll be like, "Oh shit, no, mm-mm." They'll be like, "What?" You would say, "Hey, you've had student loans for 20 years. Do you know if you don't pay those off, you can never be free as me?" That's what I would say to that person. I'm free. I don't have student loan debt because I paid them off. When are you gonna pay yours off? Never. That means you're never gonna be free. No, thank you. No relationship. Nothing. Why not? Because you don't believe in yourself to be free. You don't believe you can free yourself. And I can't be with a person like that. And when you tell a death slave that, they're not going to understand what you mean. I promise you. They're not going to get it. They're going to look at you with this dazed look because they don't understand. And the majority of them must be that way. They must believe but my point is this, you won't you 99% chance you won't date a person like that. You won't be in the court system for child support and all this other nonsense joining these angry groups because they all put the majority of people you hear, they all put themselves there. That's a whole entire different world that you won't be part of ever. because you won't date people like that. All you have to do is look at their credit report. Your relationship problems will be, hey, what? Why is the money not right in our relationship? We can't get it. I wonder why we can't get ahead. We keep making more and more money, but it doesn't seem like we're getting ahead. Just look at your partner's credit report. If you know you're not doing, if you know you in your, I mean, physically, you know you're doing right with the money, but you guys still don't seem to be getting ahead. Look at your partner's personal credit report. It'll tell you why. But when I say 99% of your relationship problems will be solved, all you have to do is listen to the way give it put it this way. You will have the ability to listen a different way about money. Debt slaves talk a certain way about money that they don't know they're saying. Now, let me give you an example. Debt slaves believe you can buy a house with a mortgage when that's not mathematically true, but that's what they believe, and millions of them believe it. That won't be your problem. I mean, you won't be on that side of it. Okay, you won't be there. You'll be on the correct side of it. Like, oh, yeah, the only way to buy a house is in cash. Yeah, that's the only way. There is no other way. Debt slaves believe the only way to get a nice car, to buy a nice car, is with a car loan. That's not true. Who told you that? You won't be on that won't be your problem. Oh man, you get those debt slaves that start talking like, man, I can't get ahead. How much is your car note? 600, $700 a month. That's why you can't get ahead because you got a $700 car note. You won't date people like that. That they won't be in your they will be nowhere in your radar. And all you got and you have, like I said, you'll have the ability to listen, just listen to where they talk. Finance and phones and car payments and student loan. I hope the president sure forgives these student loans. That all debt slave talk. You won't date a person like that. You sure in the hell won't procreate. Biologically tie yourself to a debt slave meeting. Oh, we got to meet up at this spot, we got to meet at the police station, and then you got 18 fucking years of it. No. Lawyers and you guys are debt slaves. You guys have no money to pay for lawyers. Guess how you're paying for lawyers? Credit cards. When you're on the outside looking in, I know you guys are the currency. Okay, it doesn't matter if you understand what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if you believe it. It's 100% mathematically true. You are the currency. It's you. You would never date a person that doesn't know that they are the currency. That'd be totally wrong. It's you. When you understand, and when you hear like for example, truth be told, brother, truth be told, said inflation. Let me tell you something. When you guys understand how it works, inflation, all these words, those are words. Okay, those are words. They don't mean anything. I mean, they mean something to you, but to me, it's just a word because it's you. Okay, I understand all currency, gold, silver, platinum, paper money. Everything's you. That type of currency, like when you look at money and you look at gold and you look at silver, you might as well add yourself in there because you're part of all that. You're part of all that. All that. I'm here to inspire you to say, hey, you can, that's a choice. There's nothing wrong with that. Let me make sure you understand that because this shit right here is a masterpiece. I have much respect for this system, much respect. When you understand how it works and you see all the moving pieces, you're like, wow. Like it's like a ballet. I don't watch listen, I've never been the one to go to an opera listen to one of those symphonies. You know, people go out and sit and listen to one of those symphonies of people playing violins and the drums. That was never me. I was like, damn, that shit looks boring. But when I watch how this system, the way it operates, they might as well that music might as well be playing in the background because that's what it's like. If you try to put it in some words or some, because that's how it works. I'm on the side of it that is always playing in the background whenever I look at what you guys do. I was just like, wow, okay, they're just you guys are just doing what you don't have to be there. You don't have to be in that world, that mess. That's a small like if you that's like you guys are so immersed in that world. You think it's the whole world, but what you don't understand, that's a small part of well, no, you guys are the majority. I don't know how I can say that, but that it's not as big as you think. Put it this way, okay. When you come out of that world, right? Say like you live in a neighborhood, if everybody you live in a neighborhood of houses, okay, like one of the new communities, right? And then when you come out of that world and realize you can't buy a house with a mortgage, and then you go through your whole neighborhood and realize everybody in your neighborhood has a mortgage, including you, you're going to know you're part of it. That's you. You're part of it. If you believe you're a homeowner with a mortgage, that means you're part of it. That's okay. I mean, listen, I'm not against it. I respect it. You know how, and this is, and you probably thinking, well, LJ, what do you mean by respecting the system? You know how I show respect to the system? By properly paying my taxes. That's what I do. Sure do. Ridiculously exact. Ridiculously. Ridiculously. Because the way I pay my taxes is much different than millions of other people do. I promise you that. I promise you that. Promise. That's how I give respect. You get on this side, the whole thing is a choice. You get to choose. You get to choose. That's the crazy part about it. The whole time I had a choice. They always say that in the debt matrix. Hey man, you know, God gives you the freedom of choice. He sure does. Freedom of choice. And I realized when I think back when I was in the debt matrix and you get ready to do something that you know is wrong, there's always something in the voice. There's always something that sounds like a voice that says, "Hey man, you probably shouldn't do that." You know, everybody knows that. Like if you get ready to do something wrong, there's always a voice that says, "Hey, you probably shouldn't do that." That's against the law. You know, it says it, right? Now, you got to remember at that moment when you hear that, because it's not physical, here we go. Okay. Since it's not physical, you probably don't pay attention to it. But at that moment, you have a choice. You listen to what it says or you don't. Now, put it this way. Put it this way. Say like you are going to rob somebody's house because you know they have a lot of money in there. Okay. Now, and it counts on where you're at because the more you do it, you completely have stopped listening to the voice that says, "Hey, you probably shouldn't do that," right? But say like it's your first time, that's when the voice is going to be the loudest because you've never done it before. The voice will be the loudest at that moment. And so you have a choice. Do I listen to it or not? And if the money is so overwhelming, that means the order of your life is out of order because you're choosing money over time. Because if you get caught, you're going to prison. So you lose something worth more than money, which is time. And so if you choose to right there at that choice, that choosing moment, you're choosing to say, I'm willing to risk the time of my life for what? Money. That means money's number one in your life, and time is number two, which is the wrong order. Once you understand how this works, you'll never forget that ever. Your whole life will change. You won't have 99, I'm not going to say 100%, but 99% of your relationship problems will be, they won't exist anymore. Okay. That won't, because you won't allow it. You won't allow people to come in your life and disrupt your peace. That is not allowed ever. Say like you're dating, like when you understand, when you have a sixth sense, right? You can clearly see people that are not really good people to have a relationship with. You can see that, okay? But their mannerisms, the way they talk, what they do, what they say, they tell on themselves, but they don't know that they're telling on themselves because they don't know where they're in that world. You just watch them. You would never tie yourself to nobody like that ever, not even a friendship, because that even even that bad energy could rub off on you. They could be doing something wrong, but you're cool with them, and then you go somewhere with them and they have something going on in their life that you don't know about, and voila, you're in the mix of it. When you could have prevented that a long time ago, you already see. That's a world you don't have to be part of, and you will make sure of that. My true purpose here is really in to inspire you and motivate you to own yourself. Because just like people that don't, the majority that must not know debt slaves, there must be people that do know. We're all human. Everybody dies, so there must be people that know, and must be people that do not know. And the people that do not know must be the majority, and that's okay. I'm okay with that because it's all a choice. Always has been. You choose to trust mathematics or you don't. Period. If you continue to choose to not trust mathematics when it comes to your money, you will die a debt slave. Believe that. Here's another example, and this is the harsh truth. If you have psychologically in your mind have given up on paying off your student loan debt, you're going to die a debt slave, never ever knowing what this feels like. You'll never know what I'm saying. You'll never be able to understand it because it's against the laws of mathematics for you to. You can't. You can't. Hey, what is he talking about? You can't buy a house with a mortgage. If you hear me say that, right? Listen, if you hear me say that, and I'm gonna give you guys an example so you can understand what I mean. If you hear me say you can't buy a house with a mortgage and you sound confused, you're like, what do you mean you can't? That means you're a debt slave if you're confused about that. And you're probably thinking, well, what do you mean? So open up your calculator app on your phone, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance, and hit equal. That's a large negative number. Negative. That's how much money you had to buy the house you're living in today. You're probably thinking, LJ, what do you mean? I can't buy a house with negative dollars. I know that. You don't know that because you think you're a homeowner with a mortgage. And since you believe you could buy a house with negative dollars, that means you're the currency too. You're right along with the US dollar, the gold, the silver, the platinum, the diamonds, or whatever you guys believe currency is. You're part of the currency. You. And since the other currencies can't do nothing without you, I just pay attention to you. Just watch you guys, see what you guys do. I don't pay I don't look at the stock market the same way you guys do. You know why? Because I know you guys are the stock market. I know it's you. The stock market couldn't exist without you. When I walk past a bank and you see those big old nice safes with the big old turn locks, yeah, I know you guys ain't no money in there. The only money in those banks is you. The bank accounts. The key those bank accounts are more important than money locked up in those vaults. The bank accounts are you, debt slaves, you. I get it. Totally understand it. Totally get it. I'm thinking you don't need that big ass safe for something that's psychological. The bank is like, yeah, we know that, but hey, perception is everything, Mr. Young, you young grasshopper. Perception is everything, young grasshopper. How long you been born? 52 years? We've been at this centuries, LJ, okay? All right, young grasshopper, know your place. Just be happy that you can see, okay? Welcome. Now you happy. This is the bank talking to me. You happy that you can see? Yeah. Now you can see where your place is at and all this. Oh yeah. Okay. I see. I see. Newborn baby. Know your place? Yeah. Know your place. Can you see? Okay. See where you at then. Yes. Yes, bank. Yes. I understand. Understood. Understood. Hell yeah. 2020 vision, man. It's just like, oh, okay. That's why when you go to these channels, that all these relationship channels telling you guys what to look for in a person, what not to look for, everything looking outside yourself, everything. Have you noticed that? Every channel you go to, they're all telling you to look somewhere outside yourself. They never say, hey, look at yourself. It's like, here, let me give you an example. Say like you're in a relationship and you're fucking around, and then the person that's fucking around finds out that their partner caught say like and they've been getting away with it, right? They've been getting away with messing around on their partner, but then their partner, they physically catch their partner messing around and then get mad, like, oh, how could you do that to me? You got to say, what do you mean? You've been doing it. Like when you do that stuff and you doing this, like, say like you're sneaking behind your partner's back and messing around, right? You're only sneaking around on yourself. Do you understand that? When you do that, when you do things like that, you're sneaking around on yourself. You're a part, you are in that world of where people do that, because if you're messing around on your partner and you're messing with somebody that knows you have a partner and accepts that also, you guys are all together in that world. That's what you guys do to each other in that world. You don't have to be there, because I would never allow that. So say like this, say like I'm in my 30s, but I have this knowledge of today, and I meet a woman, and then I find out she has a boyfriend. That friendship connection, that's ends immediately. It stops immediately. Because if she's doing that on her man, that means she'll do that to me. I don't want any of that. I don't want no part of that world. None. That stops immediately. That no, no, thank you. No. So when you do that part, you're only fooling around on yourself. That's good. You know, they would say karma is going to come back. Of course it is. You guys are part of that world. You don't get to do it to people and have it not be done to you. That's not fair. That wouldn't be fair. That won't be part of your world anymore. You won't be part of those groups. That's why relationship gossip groups are so big, because you guys don't know where the answer is. All you gotta do is look in the mirror, and you don't have to worry about any of those groups. You don't even know the life of the person that's giving you this type of information. You don't even This is all you got to do. If you go to a popular, this will never happen, okay? They'll never do it for you. But anybody that's sharing this type of information, all you got to do is look at their personal credit report, will tell you why they do what they do. Now, let me give you an example, okay? When I say that, so you can understand. So if I came across a person with a huge gossip channel, and I saw their personal credit report and they had no debt, zero debt, nothing, right? I would know that they're doing that for business. I would know immediately that's for business. But if I came across a person's credit report and I saw it was a nightmare, they'll be doing that. Yeah, they're making a lot of money, but they're doing that because that's what they believe that the world is like, because that's what they believe. So they will continue to make a lot of money, but their personal credit report, I know you guys really don't get it, but their personal credit report will still remain a nightmare, even though they're making a lot of money. You're probably thinking, well, why is that, Linnell? Because you guys go up on, when you guys make more money, you go up on payments. Like, here's an example. if if you inherited $1 million, say like you inherited $1 million and you're a debt slave, you guys would go out and get a bigger mortgage instead of paying for the house in cash. Excuse me, or instead of buying a house in cash, you would go out and get a bigger payment. What's up, Cosmic? So the amount of money you make doesn't make it doesn't make any difference. But it does to you guys in the debt matrix, because you think if they're driving a nicer car than you think they have more money or something. But if they're making payments, the only thing they have is a bigger payment than you. That's nicer car, bigger payment. You guys still are the same. Like, here's an example, okay? This what should inspire you to do this, because again, 99% of your relationship problems will be solved before you'll fix them. You'll fix it before they happen. You'll prevent it. This information will prevent you from ever experiencing just stuff you don't need to experience. You just you have the ability. You won't even have to get as far. Put it this way: you won't even have to get as far as having to see their personal credit report. Damn, hold on for a second. Because I know a lot of you guys are saying, well, how am I going to see their personal credit report, LJ? I promise you, you won't even have to get that far. Okay. That's just really an extreme circumstance, right? Because you will be able to just listen to the way they speak, what they do, how they handle money, et cetera, et cetera. You'll be okay with being alone, because in the debt matrix, they make it seem like when you're alone, it's a bad thing. It's not. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. Being alone means quieting the noise. But right now, let me tell you something. With this next, wait just a second. This next generation of debt slaves, let me explain something to you. This next generation of debt slaves, it's going to be very difficult for you guys to get out. I ain't gonna lie. This right now, I have physical money. I can use physical money as an example of you being in the debt matrix, because I know how you guys look at money. But when they remove, when US currency becomes 100% digital, all of the devices you guys have, phone, tablets, TV, just so much stuff for you guys, in order for you guys to be in a room. And you could test this yourself. for you to be in a room with no lights, maybe a candle, every device off, nobody physically around you to talk, and be in a room for like 15 minutes of nothing. Most of you guys, there's no way you guys could do that. You could test this on yourself, because like I said, I'm here to inspire you and motivate you. If you go in a room and you can't sit in there for 15 minutes without any distraction, that tells you, that's a sign. How do I know this? I could do that shit for hours. I can do it for hours and love every minute of it. Sure can. I rarely do hours, but an hour is normal. I rarely do hours plural, but 1 hour, that's normal. That's nothing for me. I do that every morning. I make sure I get up early enough before everybody else, and I take it that's my time every single morning. It's a routine. It's not even, I don't even think about it anymore. I just get up at a particular time, so I know I'm gonna be by myself and quiet, and that's how it is. But this new world coming up, the virtualization, now we gone from the fit. I mean, you guys think we have, but now instead of being as in a single world, you guys are going to have multiple worlds to choose from. And I guarantee you, each one of those worlds uh financially owning you guys somehow. Mm, bananas, man, to even think about. And good luck for the trying to like, this is going to be a challenge for the SMD, for the SMD family members who will one day be SMD counselors. That's going to be you guys' challenge. How am I going to reach debt slaves in 100% digital worlds plural? How am I going to reach them then? Because you debt slaves right now, you guys think you're buying property in the virtual land. You guys don't even own property in the real world. Now you believe you're buying property virtually. S&D counselors, good luck on that. Ooh, good luck on that one. That's going to be a tough one. What you mean I'm not part of this land, this world, that virtual world, I don't really have nothing in there. Good luck with that. The time you really have is alone time. It sure is. That is true. What'd you say, Cosmic? LOL, LJ. I heard virtual land is crashing. Rather get stuff in real life. Yep. Oh, it's going there though. Believe that. Virtual worlds is coming. Believe that. That's big money. That's big money. And if you want to be part of, listen, if you want to be part of all that the correct way, you need to come see me. You need to come see me. Your whole it's not just about your finances. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. It's bigger than that. It's way bigger than that. Self-confidence goes up through the roof. Nobody's going to understand you, but it don't matter because the world becomes quiet. The chitter-chatter of debt slaves talking about money, that becomes quiet. I don't hear any of that. I'm even pulling myself away from just even watching videos of debt slaves speaking financial nonsense. I just stopped watching it. It's just pointless. It's absolutely pointless. I'm at a point to where I'm just thinking to myself, I cannot let that part of, I can't, I mean, I got to listen, I got to pay attention to it. Don't get me wrong. I had to look. Okay, what are you guys doing? How are you guys responding to that? To whatever, right? But not immersed in it like you guys are emotionally. I don't wrap my emotions in it. I just look at it. put it this way. It's like when you when you understand how it works and you go from a W-2 worker, employee, to a business owner the correct way. Okay. First own yourself, and then you cross over to business. It's different. It's not the same as every other business owner that don't own themselves. It doesn't matter because they don't own nothing. They don't own themselves or the business. They don't know that. But when you cross over like this, you're going to go from like when you're an employee, you're paying taxes. Okay. Oh, then you're made to believe taxes are bad. The IRS people are bad. The agents are bad. Oh my God, they're carrying guns now, blah, blah, blah. And then you cross over to the correct way, to passing taxes. You go from paying to passing. Okay. As you're doing this transition, it's going to feel like you're pay it almost feels like you're paying your way in, but you're not. But that's the best way I can explain it. It's going to feel like that because you're going to cross over into tax land that you don't really understand, and you kind of all you got to do is just hire a tax person who's personally debt free. They'll know exactly what to do. Then once you finally cross over, you'll realize that you're just passing taxes. You're not paying them, you're passing them. Then you won't look at taxes the same way, but you'll see the true purpose. It's like, oh, that's why they're there. Okay, got it. Understood. Understood. It's basically saying, hey, you keep the money from the product, the price you charged on your product. You just give us what we added on top of the price that you made up with your own brain. You said, hey, I believe my product's worth 1,000. They said, cool, okay, you can price your product whatever you want. We're just going to add this 10% on top of that. And then when you collect it, you give it to us. Okay, cool, no problem. Here you go. So I get to keep my money that I create. Yep, you keep the money that you did to do your creation. Yes, you do. You just pass us the extra. Okay, here you go. You know, there are business owners that believe they get to keep, not only get to keep their money, they get to keep, not only do they get to keep the money that they got for the price of their product, they also think they get to keep the money that's not even theirs. What you mean? You can't do that. What do you mean? When you cross over, you understand that. Okay, there is no miscommunication. There is, because it's just mathematical numbers. My numbers will match their numbers because I make sure of it the best way I possibly can, the best way. Now you're not gonna date somebody that's in IRS trouble, back taxes, collections. It won't matter how they look. It won't matter how fine he or she is. If they're in financial problems, you're not gonna deal with that in your life. You're not. Your world will be peaceful. It sure will. Peace like you won't believe, because you won't allow any drama. It doesn't matter if it's family or friends. You won't allow it because it'll disrupt your peace, and you're not going to allow that. And that's what I believe my true purpose is, to motivate and inspire you. But first, you must own yourself first. That's the first thing. There is no way around it. I'm here to tell you there is no other way around it. You have to own yourself first if to ever know. Now, when I was getting out of debt, I didn't realize what it was going to do. I just did not, because I had never owned myself, because I thought that was part of life. I just thought that was normal. Hey, good credit, great income, I'm good. Everybody sees me. Everybody sees my house. Everybody sees my car. Everybody sees where I work. I remember one time I had just recently got this job, and they was building a new complex down the street, not too far from my job. And I was really concerned. I was thinking, man, if I bought a place right here, man, I'd be like 5 minutes away from my job. Okay. That's what I said to myself. I'd be like, man, that would save me so much gas money and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But then there was another voice in my head that says, hey, the best, I'm gonna say it's a voice, but it's not a voice. It's more like a thought, talking thought. And it's like, if you if you finance that house right there, are you basically saying that you're gonna be at this job for the next 30 years of your life? Because that's what you're saying when you do that. If you finance a house not far from your job, you're basically saying to yourself that I plan on being at this job for the next 30 years of my life. That's what it said to me in my mind. I was like, I said, no, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that because I can't see because there's no way. Even when I was in the debt matrix, any job that I had, there was never once in my mind that I thought I was going to be at this job for 30 years of my life. I was at a job for maybe 3 to 5 years max, and it was time for me to move on. Because I would come across some jobs, man. I remember when I first got into computers in my late 20s, early 30s, and I started working for the Seattle School District, right? And there were some guys there that had been working for the school district for like 30 years. They're on their way getting ready to retire. But I'm like, 30 years at the same place of doing the same thing over and over. And no, man, no, I can't do that. No. 30 years of walking through the same door? No. Mm-mm. I knew that was wrong for me. Okay. I'm not knocking people let me make sure it's clear. I'm not knocking anyone that chooses it. I'm only talking about myself. Let's make sure that's clear. I'm only talking about me. And the biggest thing is this. When you're a debt slave, you don't realize the present moment is the only moment that will ever matter today, right now, which like you're listening to this broadcast right now, right now. Everything is designed to keep you looking in the past and in the future. Things are better in the future. Hey, just keep doing that. They'll be better. What about today? If they're not good now, they're not going to be good in the future. What are you talking about? Because they're bad today. Like if something's bad, let's say something that you could do about it. Say like because this is one of the easiest. Say like there's a physical person in your life disrupting your life and it's bad. You have the choice to remove that person. Because if it's bad today, guess what? It's going to be bad tomorrow because that person's still there. It's going to be bad next week. We're going to go into the future. It's going to be bad next week. Why? Because the person is there today. It's going to be bad next month. Why? Because the person is in your life today. So we already know in the future, next month, it's going to be the same way. You remove the person today, guess what? Next week is going to be better. And then next month is going to be even better. And then next year it's going to be even better. That's how it works. That's how it works. But they keep you guys looking at, hey, that's all part of the program. No, you don't have to be part of that. You don't have to be part of the people that believe weekends are special, like Saturday and Sunday, like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those are not special. When God made all 7 days, he said, is there somewhere he says, hey, I believe these 3 days are special? No, they're not. They're just days of the week. That's it. They're just days of the week. They're not special. When you're out of that world, you forget what day it is. Half the time, I don't even know what day it is unless I have an appointment. I don't know the day or the time half the time. Now, when I was coming out of that phase, from being untied to the calendar, to the clock, to the day of the week. Hey, what is the day? Tuesday? What is today? Wednesday? Like I always had to know what day it was. Hey, what is today? What is you know, mm. Coming out of that program, boy, that was a tough one. I ain't gonna lie. That was a tough one. I felt lazy. I was like, oh my God, I never know what time it is. I never that's all part of I'm detoxing from the debt matrix. That's all that is. This is why I always say to you guys, okay? When you go through this, you're not gonna date somebody that doesn't go through this or hasn't or don't even know exists. You're not gonna seriously date a person like that. You definitely won't marry them. You'll hear them talking about retirement while having student loan mortgage. You'll be like, oh my God. Oh yeah, man, I'm about to, put this in my retirement. Or better yet, the ones that brag about how much they can borrow from their 401k. It's like, what? I mean, if this is you, this is important. Okay. This is very, very important. If you are one of the people that brag about how much you can pull out of your 401k, hey, listen, you got to stop doing that. You got to stop doing that because people like me, there's not many of us, but there's people like me around you. And when we hear you talk like that, borrowing from your 401k to go on vacation or invest in some property or something, you guys have no idea what you're saying when you say that. Like when you borrow from your 401k, right? And you quit your job, that payment becomes due. Do you guys understand that? That becomes due. Mm. And if you're borrowing from your 401k, guess what? You're not going to have the money. How do I know that? Because you borrowed it in the first place. Listen to the words slowly. You borrowed from your future to pay for your present. The reason why you the reason why you did that because you have no money in your present. So if you lost your job or you decided to quit, you're not going to have the money to pay it back. So when you're out on if you're out on a date and your date mentions that, hey, yeah, mentions the car payment, mentions that they borrow from their 401k because it's cheaper interest rate or whatever they say. I used to always think that was weird. I was thinking, oh, they charge a low interest rate on if you borrowed the money from your 401k. I was like, what? I don't care how low the interest rate is. I'd be like, if that's my money, why am I being charged any interest at all? Because it's not yours, dead slaves. That's why. It's not your money. That's why. It's lower than the bank interest rates. That's true. Yeah. Whatever. What's that got to do with anything? It's interest. It doesn't matter what it is. Jacque says, I'm talking to a 27-year-old God-fearing church girl has student loan debt and wants to take out loans to go to medical school. Broke my heart. Wow. And see, even in that statement that Jacque says, he goes, now the normal guy who be like, I mean, I'm looking for a good girl. She's a church-fearing, God-loving girl, but they ain't got nothing to do with debt. She could be a good person. This is what I want you guys to understand. She could be a good person. But if you turn to her and say, hey, what are you going to do about that debt? Oh, I'm going to take out more to go to medical school. It's like, whoa, okay. Oh, shoot. How you going to take care of that? Oh, I'll just pay it back when I get my good job. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. And medical school debt of all debts? Ooh, jeez, man. Let me here, this is what you guys don't get. Medical people that are buried in student loan debt, the hospitals own those people. Do you guys understand that? Owns them. Especially like the hospitals that, hey, we do student loan for, we're part of the student loan forgiveness program. Oh, you guys are owned. Told on yourselves. Because when you do that, you say, hey, this is what you're saying. This is what you're saying when you sign up for a program that lasts 10 years and they don't promise you nothing. 99% of the people get denied. They don't promise you nothing for 10 years. This is what you're really saying. Okay. So you guys can understand what that means when you sign up for a student loan, get a job at a place because they have a student loan forgiveness program. I don't believe out of 10 years of my life, I don't believe I can pay off my student loan debt out of 10 years. And medical people make good money. You guys, I want you guys to hear me. They make good money. This is what you're saying too, people that are in the medical field that do this. Hey, this program is 10 years. This is what I want you to do. I want you to add up your salary for 10 years so you guys can physically see it. Put it on a fucking piece of paper so you can see it. Add up your salary for 10 years. And then look at your student loan debt amount. And you mean to tell me out of all that money, you can't pay that small amount? That's what you're saying because you don't see it on a piece of paper. Add up 10 years, say, hey, if whatever your salary is today, times it by 10. Now look at that number and look at your student loan debt number. You mean to tell me you can't pay off your student loan debt? Who says who? That's a psychological problem. You clearly, listen, you clearly can. This is so easy. Take your salary times 10, write it on a piece of paper. And then write on a piece of paper your total student loan debt. And look in the mirror and say, I can't pay off my student loan debt in 10 years? Why not? Now, if you still don't believe it, that you can, oh man, housing prices, taxes, what? Hey, you're part of you're running the program. You're going to stay there until you're dead, and the hospital's going to own you till you're dead. And medical people probably talking about, what do you mean they own me? Do you ever work off the clock? If you work off the clock, that means they own you because debt slaves work for free. Like like now, I own myself. Okay. Stress is a choice. You don't have to have stress in your life. That's another choice that that's the lovely thing about this. Stress is a choice. 95% of your stress is coming from debt. It's a very small, believe it or not, it's a very small portion comes from people, and that's easy to control. Stress is removed. There is no stress, none, zero. That's not even allowed. If you're say like you're a debt-free person in the medical field, say like you're a debt-free, it doesn't matter, nurse, doctor. I don't want you guys thinking there's a difference because there's not. If you're a debt-free person, good at what you do in the medical field, and then you go get a job at a hospital, the hospital's going to know that and they're going to pay you accordingly. You're going to make more than any of your peers because that's what you're going to demand. You're going to make sure the all the rules are understood at the table of signing to agree to work there. You're going to say, hey, yeah, I don't work. I'm not going to be wearing a pager my entire time here. Even when I'm off, I'm not doing any of that. I only work on these days, and those days, that means I don't accept any calls, pages, emails, nothing. No questions of anything work related at all. Nothing. That will be clear at the table. And this is my salary requirements. You won't care about how the hospital does what with the pay scale and this and that. That'll be none of your concern. Because you got to think about it this way. If you're really good at what you do and the hospital knows it, they're going to pay you accordingly because they're going to quadruple that because they have the best doctor or nurse or whoever in the city of where you're at. They're going to pay accordingly. Which say under the higher education, the more valuable they are to the system. For sure. That is a middle class. When I look at middle class right now, because you guys think economic classes exist, but the classes are you. The majority of when you guys go look and see what economic class you're in, you guys don't realize those are negative numbers for you. Those are not when you the class you guys see physically with your eyes, those are positive numbers, which you guys are not. You guys are in an economic class, but it's the exact opposite, and they're negative numbers. Like say like you are $500,000 in debt. You are lower class. And if you have $1,000 worth of debt, that means you would be considered upper class. Funny because hold on for a second. I gotta turn this AC off. Hold on. I'm just I'm just here to tell you guys your life will change forever, for sure. Forever. It will never be the same ever. Funny because she wants to wait until marriage to give it up, but couldn't be patient enough to pay off her student loan before wanting new loans. The irony of inner life. She and you gotta remember she doesn't understand what she's saying. Society makes it believe it's all about sex. And that's another thing that I want to make sure it's clear on. When I was in the debt matrix, sex controlled me. It controlled me. But once you own yourself, it's the opposite. I control sex. It doesn't control me anymore. And that's a type of energy I can't really explain. But the opposite, put it this way, the opposite sex knows it because they can feel it from me. They can feel it from me. It has nothing to do with my age. I know young people say, "Oh man, he's older. His shit probably don't work," and all this other stupid nonsense that you hear in the debt matrix. But it counts on. Listen, especially for the young people, this is very important for you to understand because this is what I did. I took care of my body my whole entire life. I took care of my body. Okay, so everything works. How you treat your body today is how your body is going to respond to you in the future. I'm gonna just tell you that right now, especially as a man. Let me tell you, men, how you're treating your body today, your body's going to respond accordingly to how it's going to treat you in the future. So I always took care of my body, so I've never had any problems ever. Cosmic says, LJ, I'll be somewhat close to you next month. Oh, Top Sale, North Carolina. How is the weather there? And oh, it's beautiful here. It's still beautiful now. It's like 80s all week here in South Carolina. 80s all week. I love it here. I'm gonna put this link out here real quick. If you guys have any questions, now if you come up in the background, I'm gonna have to see you on camera before I can put you up, so know ahead of time. Something I don't know. Something keeps having me come back and talk to you because honestly, I'm just getting. I'm not gonna say tired. I'm just saying, you know, I don't really want to talk about what they do to debt slaves anymore. I try to, oh, the student loan debt, this and that. I pay attention to it if I want to do something, but other than that, I don't really care. You know, it's none of my business. because they, just the zero down home loans. I know exactly. It's like this. I know why the purpose of zero down home loans. I already know. So it's like, it's not really a shocker or anything like, oh my God, I can't believe that. It's crazy where they aim it, why they do it, it's just bananas just to see it. And I know why. It's not a bad thing. It's just business. Okay. It's nothing personal. Like I said before, it's like a symphony. The best is the banks own everything. 99% of what you see are bank owned. The people that you see in them, they're just responsible for the bank's property. That's all. They're just there. And whatever you guys believe you are in the bank's property, that's a psychological thing. Okay. If you're in a house and you believe you're the homeowner and you know you have a mortgage and you believe you own the house and the equity and all that stuff, that's that's a psychological problem because it's not mathematically true. Like when I see that, it's when you see uh neighborhood shift or change, right? All the payments go to the banks. So they know who's leaving and who's staying. They've been known for years. I mean, you guys don't really understand that. But if you don't own the houses and you're making payments, they already know who's not making their payments on time, who's behind, who can't keep up, who will lose their house if taxes go up. That's all you got. Like if people are in a neighborhood barely making their mortgage payments, right? Barely making them. Okay, if you raise the taxes in that neighborhood, guess what? They're out because they can't afford it. That's not a shocker. That's just the way it works. It's business. Who cares, you know? You see the true purpose of taxes. So taxes make things happen and not happen or whatever, right? I get it. I totally get it. Because even even with my shorts, I really do them just to get the shock value from dead slaves because I already know what you guys are going to be shocked with. If I say something like rent and mortgage are the same, I know you guys are going to respond with a shocking negative value because you guys believe having a mortgage is somehow better than rent. Okay, that's why I say things like that. But when it's not true, but I already know that ahead of time. So I already know the type of people who are going to respond in the comments, right? Even that gets tiring. It's like I had to block a dude. I had to block a dude for the first time. And I usually don't block people, right? But this dude would not stop. He just would not. I mean, he did it for like 3 days straight. I mean, he watched almost every single one of my shorts, damn near commented under every single, this is bull crap, this is not true, you're a liar, you don't. I'm like, damn, this dude is still here. And then he came on a live and said the same thing. It's like, oh, you're not. It's like, wow, man, you are wasting a lot of time. There's like 38 million channels on YouTube and you sticking to this one. And then on day three he just kept on. I just had to block him. Dorian says medical debt is some of the riskiest debts you can have because it's all or nothing. You're putting all your chips on the table when you take out medical school. That is true. I was thinking about that not too long ago too. I was like, what if you're a kid forced into medical school because your family is this is their tradition, but nobody's talking about paying and they force you to get student loan debt and you don't like it. And say like you're in the middle of the say like you get old, of course you're getting older right as you progress, and you're like, I don't want to be in medical school or whatever. It's too late. You're buried. Now you got to find a job that's gonna help you pay the half the $100,000 in student loan debt you've accumulated. It is a trap, man. It's messed up. How do we get to that point? How do we get out of debt? Find a job you love and live accordingly. Okay. First you come see me. I create a plan for you on how to get out of debt and own yourself. And I show you mathematically. I'm not just doing something that I'm not going to help you guys understand. I'm going to show you mathematically, right? I'm going to say I'm going to create the plan and then I'm going to show you why I'm creating this plan mathematically so you can see it. So when you see it, you're like, okay, the math makes sense. I'm going to follow the plan. And this is where, if I follow this plan, this is where I'm going to get. Once you get to zero, that's a whole different level. That's where I come in seriously. Right now, I can physically show you, right? With you got to do the hard work. First, you got to not only show yourself, you got to show me that you can put in the work to get yourself out of debt. That's the hard part. Do you have the patience, the tolerance, to deal with the people around? Because a lot comes with it. Reduction in lifestyle, no longer listening to the people around you, what you should do and what you should not do with your money, blah, blah, blah. You got to be strong. Once you get to zero, then we move on to the next level because there are multiple levels. When you own yourself, once you get to zero and own yourself, you will only work at a job that you like. You'll never say love anymore. I love this job. That's like, why are you adding feeling to a job? That's a job. There's no feeling to be added. You're gonna catch yourself doing that. You're gonna be like, okay. I mean, you could express I'm cool with this job. I like this job, whatever, right? Because that's the only when you're debt free, you only work at jobs you like and the jobs that pay you accordingly to what you're worth. What's up, Jewel? There are 6 states that are taxing student loan forgiveness money as capital gains. Wow. Hmm. When I see that stuff, it makes I mean, I understand it's just business, whatever, right? But when I see the whole thing, it makes absolutely no sense to me. It's like, hey, the federal, which covers all land, we're not taxing, but the individual states can. It's like, what's the purpose? But I guess that's the same with marijuana. It's legal in some states, it's not legal in other states, and there's no blanket, but it's not legal federally. But it's like, okay, well, all right. Shoot me an email. Or just go to savingsminusdebt.com and schedule one of me. Savingsminusdebt.com. Here's my I thought I added up there, didn't I? Yeah, I don't have it anymore. Savingsminusdebt.com. I gotta make it again. Okay. Schedule a consultation. My email is savingsminusdebt@gmail.com. Yeah, getting debt in control is step number one. Several steps after that for sure. For sure. Getting out of debt, like for a lot of people, I want you guys to understand, getting out of debt is a major piece of the puzzle. You have to feel the money you spent, the money you borrowed. You got to feel paying it back. You got to feel what it feels like to pay back the money you borrowed. And the student loan debt, which was my final debt to get out of debt, I ain't gonna lie, that was a painful process to see me passing over large, because that was my last debt. So I had large amounts to put on it, right? Because I followed the Dave Ramsey's baby steps, right? But to be passing my checks for as long as I did to pay that off, to one day, then one day it stops. Then it says one day it says you are complete. You have paid off your student loan debt. You have no idea the 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 weight lifted off my shoulders, knowing that it's gone forever, never coming back, gone. Student loan debt, so you guys understand, is that's never going anywhere. You just need to accept that in your brain. It's not going to be forgiven ever. It's not. It's not. The only way you're getting out of that, you have to pay it off. That's it. There's no way getting out of that. And if you don't, if you're a person, I actually feel sorry for people that continue to go to school because they can't afford their student loan payment. I feel for people like that. I really do. Because if you're going to school right now because you can't stop because you can't afford the payment, you are the true definition of a trapped debt slave because one day it's going to stop. You can't go to school forever because people like that, they don't even know how much student loan debt they have, nor do they want to know. How do I know this? Because I had student loan debt for 10 years. I never wanted to know the balance. That's a true definition of a trapped debt slave. If you got debt, but you don't want to know the balance, you're trapped. What's up, Ulysses? Got a coworker? Long time no see. Got a coworker who was 2 car payments away from paying a car off, got into a wreck and got totaled. She rushed her decision to finance another one. Now she's got a new car payment of $620. Hmm, man. Hmm. Thank God I don't have any loans. I'm glad I never asked for a loan because we have to pay those back with interest. Sure do. Now, when you get on the business side, let me make sure this is clear. Debt on the business side loans is very different. That's okay. Okay. Because when you get on the business side, when you go get a loan on the business side, it's going to be for a specific purpose. It's not going to be get to thrown away to buy stupid stuff. It's going to be for a specific purpose and time. You're going to already have the plan in your mind of when it's going to be paid back and how fast it is, everything before you even get the loan. Everybody at work saying congratulations, but she complaining about the payments and she is in oh my gosh, she's in her 60s. Oh yeah, she's even robbing Peter to pay Paul. Sad situation. Oh my God. In her 60s and financed a brand new car. Oh man. See, I try not to get involved in that, but because I know that's how it has to be. I know it has to be that way. It has to be. That's why I just remove myself from it because it's sad. You just know a person in their 60s financing a brand new car, complaining about the payments. But even with that, debt slaves, you guys really don't understand. That kind of debt can be you can bankrupt that kind of debt. Do you know if you're in and I'm only telling you things that are legal ways, okay, to free yourself. If you're in a messed up situation, you know you can go down to go see a bankruptcy lawyer, right? And clear all your debt except your student loan debt. You say, "Hey, lawyer, look, I can't pay all this money. I have no job, and I need to file bankruptcy Chapter 7." And that's legal. You can legally go do that. You go hire a lawyer to do it. Now imagine if every other debt in your life was gone except your student loan debt, and you still had your job right now. You said like you have the job you have right now, but no other debts except your student loan debt. You know how fast you'll be able to pay off that student loan debt? But it takes sacrifice. You got to accept that you don't own anything. Like here's another example, like chapter bankruptcy chapter 13, that's for debt slaves. Do you know that? You guys go into bankruptcy and still you don't want to let go of the things that got you into bankruptcy in the first place. You still don't want to let it go. So now you're making payments, smaller payments because you couldn't make the payments before. Oh, it makes absolutely no sense. Even when I try to say it out loud, it makes no sense. But I know who it's for. That won't be your world anymore. You won't hang around those kind of people that think it's normal to do that. Hey man, I'm about to file bankruptcy, so I'm gonna run out here and run up these credit cards because I'm about to claim it anyway. You won't hang around people that do that. Jack, know they're about to file bankruptcy. and run up the credit cards. But just before, you guys all do the same thing. It's a pattern. You think the credit card companies don't know that? They know who's on the verge. They've been known for years who's on the verge of bankruptcy. You maxed out, then all of a sudden you get a whole bunch of 2 or 3 more credit cards. They know exactly what you're about to do. You're about to try to run up and file bankruptcy because you're already there. 3 more credit cards. They know exactly what you're about to do. Oh, you got to turn off that other. You're playing the video in the background.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just popping in to say hello. And I mean, LJ, I do appreciate you starting SMD because I wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet the other SMD members. So I'm just popping in to just say thank you and the best of luck in whatever future chapter that you choose.
And I appreciate you, Cosmo. And without this channel, I'm glad. Without this channel, I wouldn't have met you, a person like you. You know, I'm just, I am really, I really appreciate it. You know.
And I, sometimes it's hard to stay inspired and motivated, right? Because you're literally doing what 99% of your peers aren't. So I know it can be disconcerting, but I just wanted to come in and give you some positivity, and whatever your next chapter is, I wish you the best and keep it up. I know it can be hard if you listen to the wrong people, right? It can be discouraging. So, I mean, I've been kind of out of pocket because I was grinding. I was sacrificing during the pandemic, right? So now I've been having fun traveling and thinking of what's next, setting new goals. And that's not only for you, LJ, but everybody on the chat. Keep going, guys. Don't let negativity distract you from your goals.
Yeah, and you're right. You said it right. 99% of people are not doing what we do. And it's like, it can every now and then. But I just, I'm learning to just disconnect myself from all the nonsense, and it helps a lot.
Yeah, and I've never co-signed on the debt slave boat. So I like to look from afar and stay low.
Right.
Sometimes I've been ripping off my mask because I'm getting to the point where I just don't care anymore. But I try to act right, quote unquote, given the situation. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I also want to encourage you guys to be bold with your goals. Humans usually like to think small. And sometimes you can put limits on yourself, and you'll be amazed at what you do if you take the throttles off.
That is so true. That is very true. You limit your mind. Yeah, you're right. Oh, I know, because I know
bad
people.
For your coworker with that car situation. Ouch.
What's that? Say again?
I feel bad for. I said I feel bad for Ulysses, his coworker that got that new car.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, ouch.
Yeah. Right.
Because I know the news likes to tell everybody that cars are expensive. And LJ, I was doing a full scale rehab on the house. While I was paying for that, LJ, this old woman totaled my car, hit me in the parking lot, and the car was so old it was totaled. So now,
totaled your small car? That small car you had for years?
My Geo Prism Old Blue. Yeah. She killed Old Blue. So that car was so old that when she hit it, it was totaled.
Right.
And so I get very empathetic to get a car total, but I refuse to get those new car prices. So what I did, thank God she had insurance, LJ, because during the pandemic, I bought that car back in 2007 for $1,500. When did this happen? This wreck happened in last year in 2021. Do you know I got $1,600 for the car? So I made money on, unfortunately, I made money on that car, and it didn't stop. It was still drivable, but the front bumper was loose. So I called her insurance company and said, hey, I don't feel comfortable driving this car. I don't think it's street safe. Can I get money for a rental car? LJ, they gave me $900 for a rental car. I didn't get a rental car. I stacked the cash and I got a used Toyota Corolla for $5,500. But I paid cash for it.
Right.
But I only spent like 33, maybe 3,200 out of my cash. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So sometimes you can't panic in those situations, even though I was not happy because I love Old Blue. But now I have a black Mamba, a Toyota Corolla.
Well, you gotta remember, debt slaves, they panic because they ain't got no money to buy another car, so they panic. They just don't have no
Yeah,
money.
but that's
That's why they're
only
making payments.
$1,000. Woo,
Huh?
that's like, I bought houses for less than 35,000. That's like a house to me.
Yeah, that's bread on payments too. At in your 60s,
And
$600 something
60s
a
too.
month
So I know
payment. That's
some stress.
bananas.
I'd be stressed too, so I feel bad for your coworkers. But I just wanted to hop in and give you words of encouragement. I haven't been around much, LJ, but I've been playing for a little bit to reward myself.
Okay.
But I just wanted to hop in and wish you all the best of luck. You
I
guys have a
appreciate
good
it.
morning. I'm gonna hop off the screen.
All right. Thank you for jumping up, Cosmic. I appreciate you. Yeah. See, I like that. There's people that have been with SMD for a minute. You guys are gonna, and it's a natural process. You just leave, do your thing. It's not it's all part of the process, man. I want everybody to be. I'm excited to see everybody become successful. No, I do not. But you probably can get on the Discord, SMD Discord, and there's other SMD family members that can probably point you in some good directions. So the SMD Discord. And the links are the SMD Discord links are under every video that I create. So you just look under the details of a video, click on the link and join there. So I found out my truck engine blew this week. I stayed less than 5 minutes away from my job at the hospital and been riding a bike until I heard the news. Okay, I'm not financing a new car to get in debt. I heard that. I told people that. I said, you'll ride a bike before you finance a new car, and you won't care. Hey, Ulysses, and you won't care who's seeing you riding that bike either, especially if a person's making payments and they see you riding a bike and start talking about you because you're riding a bike, you won't care what they think. He said, I'm buying another one in cash. I heard that. Total car, now she refused to keep it and use insurance to fix it. Okay, unless there is no safe repair. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thanks to LJ, I'll never go back to finance a vehicle. I work my tail off to save and pay for one. Yeah, that's right. See, and Ulysses, he's in his early 30s too. It was the late 20s, early 30s. I can't remember. I know it's young still. But anyway, that's what my true purpose is here for you guys, to inspire you, to motivate you, to help you understand that there's a different way you can live. You don't have to live that way. Like when you hear me speak, I want you guys to understand when I talk, I'm just as big as Tony Robbins. Do you understand? When I speak, I'm excited when Warren Buffett finally hears me. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, all the people that that have Jeff Bezos, once they hear me, I want you guys to really get this before it happens. I'm already there. First, you got to be there in your mind. You got to say, hey, I'm the biggest motivation, inspirational speaker in the world. Once you understand this, like I do, I'm already, first I go there mentally, and then the physical follows. First, I say it enough, which I've been saying it for the last 10, well, I haven't been saying it that way, but I'm really saying it now because I didn't know that was the direction till recently. I could tell this shift was happening because I just didn't want to be involved in the everyday stuff, what they do to you guys, and the relationship, why this money is not, this person's bad with, it's just, I don't want to be involved in that. I don't even want to. And when I say involved, I mean, I don't even want to listen to it because it's mathematical nonsense, jibber jabber. Because sometimes I'll pop in on some of the shows that that I do like on YouTube, or I used to like, and then I'll come in there and they're talking about a subject that just means nothing, and then I just I feel to myself, I'm like, I say to myself, and I feel like I'm just wasting my time. I'm just wasting time just being here. And then you see, and like when you go in the rooms, the main thing you guys got to remember, the main thing is the chat room. People are constantly. It's the weirdest thing. You look at just a bunch of just. You'll go into a chat room, a busy chat room, right? And you see how fast those comments are going. I'm thinking people are really reading that, reading noise, reading the noise. All you got to do is turn the chat off, and then that will tell you how interested you are in the subject that they're talking about. Turn the chat off. LJ, the coworker saw me on the bike and she said they had more 2020 Toyota Camrys if I wanted to get one. She said I was crazy for riding a bike. I'm like, nah, you just got in $35,000 debt. You, you the crazy one. I got two hands, blessed to be able body tools. YouTube. I will fix my paid off. Hey, yeah, there's no going. I want people to understand there's no going back. This is it. It's bigger than psychological capitalism. It is the sixth sense, CENTS, what I call it. And the reason why I say sixth sense, because it achieves the same things, but two different things. Like when you hear, here, let me give you an example. It's an example of physical and psychological. Okay. When you hear sixth sense, you think psychological. But when you read it, you clearly see I'm talking about money, physical money. You see what I'm saying? So it achieves two things. Shout out to T Sonnen. Thank you, sir, for the $100. I appreciate it, sir. All that money, he just paid off his house. So he probably pulled this 100 out of his car in the ashtray of his. Hey, honey, Jen, is there 100 in that ashtray right there? And no, right there. No, not that stack. Not that stack of money. The other one. Oh, yeah, got that 100. Let me get this to LJ. Thank you, sir. Here's a little more encouragement, and thank you for the inspiration and encouragement the past years. Debt free as of August 2022, with your motivation help. Man, I'm proud of this man. We've been friends for a while. We have. We've been friends for quite a while. I remember I was working with him when I was first getting out of debt. So back then I was like reducing my cell phone bill. I was starting out with little things, and I would share this information with him, right? But when I was doing it, it was just me by myself. He had the whole family and kids to deal with. So switching over a phone plan was a much bigger deal than what me switching myself. But as he did that, he was just found different things, and I would share my things with him, man. And now he has no debt and a paid off house. Man, it's just, man, congratulations, for real. But I told him, I said, hey, man, when you pay off your house, you ain't gonna have nothing to do. Don't start bugging me. Okay. Now he's turned into a philosopher. Hey, LJ, yeah, when they count down from a rocket that never reached a zero, but that means you launch off into the. I was like, oh man, Tyler, I gotta go pull my nails out of my hands, so I gotta be back. I'll reach out. Think and Grow Rich. I got him listening to the audiobook. He's quoting everything out of it. Hey, man, did you listen to chapter 6, section 2? You heard that? Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. No, it feels good because I know what he's going through. I know it because that's the same process I was doing. LJ, I heard you said your phone bill $25 and now I paid $99 a year for my phone. I pay $99 a year for my phone. That's my phone bill. Now I'm excited for him. You know, it's just crazy. You know, because I want you to feel like we talked about it just the other day, that that next paycheck after the house is paid off, and then you get that next paycheck, and you start to feel like you missed paying something because all that money is still sitting in an account and it's not going anywhere because you don't have no car payment, you don't have no house payment, you don't have no credit card payments, nothing. So it's just sitting there. And so you go through this type of I call it deprogramming, because you feel like you're so used to this large payment coming out of your check every month, and now it's not. So you just don't know what to do. You're like, wow, that's a really weird experience. But it's a beautiful one, though. It's beautiful. LJ doing things you do, all the debt slaves say I'm too cheap. LJ doing the things you do, all the oh yeah, of course they say that. Like the reason why, and to be fair, the reason why mine is $99 a year is because I work for myself, so I don't need a big large data plan, right? So I don't have a big data plan because I'm always using the internet at home, so I don't need data like that. So that's why it's $99 a year. And so crazy, I have limited minutes on my phone. But this is the crazy part about it. Since I can choose Wi-Fi calling, and it doesn't go against my minutes even when I'm out and about. That's just crazy. I look at my minutes left and it says I still have 1,000 and I've been talking on the phone. It's crazy. Love it. When are you going to off? When are you going to be off texting formation? I have lots of queued up messages to send your way. I'll text you. When I text you, Tyler, that's when you know it's back on. Okay. So if you don't get no text from me, just know that it's not back on yet. Okay. Tyler's got all this brand new debt-free energy that he wants to send it all. He wants to send it my way all at once, too. All at once. Not in pieces, it's hey man, what you doing? I'm about to build this massive parking lot in my driveway. I'm gonna have about 15,000 people parking there. How do I get all that straight with the text? You want me to tell you that today, Tyler? You want me to and I'm gonna do it by next week. How do I do it? I'll text you, okay? Oh man. But it's beautiful though, man. I really do. I love it. I love it though, man. It's a type of energy you can't really explain to a debt slave. You just can't. Once you free yourself, and then you're gonna realize how much time you've been wasting. Okay. It's all through phases. And the time wasting thing is the thing that's gonna keep you trying to push you the fastest, but you got to slow down. You're like, okay, it's already gone. It's I'm now 10 feet tall and bulletproof. See? Everything changes, even your attitude at work. I guarantee you this. When Tyler's on calls and goes to work, they're gonna know he's different. No debt in a paid off house. You're not taking no shit. You're not listening to nonsense. You're not. Everything changes. Everything. Even when it's time for, like, how when you have a job and it's raise time, usually this how it works. You meet up with your manager and then they tell you how much of a raise they're going to give you, and then you're just happy to get it and leave. When you own yourself, when you go to those meetings, you come to the table with your salary, what you believe your raise should be. You come to the table and say, I believe it should be this. If you don't get it, guess what? You leave. Because say like this. Say like you go to You go to the table, it's raise time, and you go to the table and say, you know what? I know you're about to try to give me $1 raise or some stupid nonsense, but this is my salary requirements. This is what I'm going to. And then they say, no, that should tell you that they don't know your worth, because you know your worth. You're not going to really get anywhere there. So you should start making plans to leave, to go to a place that they're going to pay you accordingly. That's where you're going to go. You're going to be like, hey, 2 weeks, I'm leaving. I know my job they didn't expect that. They didn't. Because I remember I applied for a position to do something, and they said, no, we're going to give it to somebody else and you're going to train them. I said, no, I'm not. I'm leaving. Believe that was crazy, right? I was like, I was the perfect person for this position, to get it, to organize it, because I was going to change it for the better, right? They said, nope. We're going to give it to this person, this new person. You're going to train them with the knowledge you know. I was like, wait a minute. I know that I have the knowledge today. You want me to train? You want me to transfer this knowledge to another person? If that's going to take years, do you know that? They were like, we're cool with that. I said, I'm not cool with that. I'm leaving. Dorian says, if it was not for your channel, I wouldn't know about Mint Mobile and paying only $350 a year with the same things you got to get on your T-Mobile. I'm paying your car insurance. Oh, you're paying your car insurance in months in advance. Yeah. I'm glad you've discovered that. You get the exact same service for a quarter of the price. But you got to remember this too, Dorian. You got to, the only way you can get on a Mint Mobile service, you have to own your phone. Debt slaves cannot buy their phones. The people with, like, when you see these people with these brand new iPhone 14s, ask every single one of them, did they buy it in cash? Good luck on finding a person that's going to buy one in cash. Good luck. Can you imagine how many finance phones are on pre-order right now? Oh my God. Imagine how much interest they make off of pre-order money. Ooh, wee. Soon as you guys slide that credit card for that phone, your interest starts right there. Boom. You guys earn negative interest. The banks or Apple, they earn positive interest. That's how it works. You're the negative. They are the positive. At the same time you're paying interest, they're gaining it. At the same time on a phone. Ooh, God damn. Congratulations, Apple. You know how much interest they are earning just on pre-orders? Oh, man. No, I can wait till it comes out. I'll hang on to my own money until you bring the phone out. Okay, I can wait. Not saying I'm gonna get one. I'm just saying out loud. If I was an Apple person, I'd be like, no, I'll wait till you have plenty for everybody. I'll wait. I don't have to be the first to get it. We just got paid today. Another coworker says she's frustrated because a bill won't get paid because she don't the money. She can't pay everybody. She close to her 60s as well, but she has an iPhone and a new car payment. Sure will. Man. You know, when you're outside of the matrix and you see a company like Apple and you see a iPhone sale, it's like, you guys don't know what that means. You guys really don't know what that means. That's just like just bread. It's so much money, right? And pre-sales, the interest that they earn off the pre-sales, oh my God. Because you got to think it like this too. It's okay. They make millions of phones. So, even though they might sell an iPhone 14 Pro Max for like $1,600, that didn't cost them to make that phone that much money. Okay, it didn't. Not even. I guarantee you, not even close. Not even close. Of course, I can never prove it, right? right? But I'm just saying in general, millions of phones, you think you're paying 50? No, okay? On top of interest being oh, that's why their headquarters looks the way it does. That says we have money. That's what that says. We have cash. Plenty of cash. Plenty. You can't, like an iPhone owner, you can't get them away from an iPhone. You can't, especially a financed one. You can't. And if they're hooked on them and they have to have the latest, guess what? They're always going to be fine. Do you believe, can you understand the majority of iPhone owners, they finance phones. They finance them. They're hooked. Getting out of that loop, their financed iPhone loop, that would take them having the same iPhone for about 3 or 4 years. How many debt slaves you think gonna do that with iPhones? Not many. They're not gonna do that. Because Apple's so good. I love what they do, man. They just change the lenses around. So now all the people who finance iPhones, they know which model phone you have by the lenses they see. They know exactly. Because the phone covers, because for me, I was like, to me, I would see an iPhone, but as soon as you put a cover on it, you don't really know what model that is or what kind it is, if it's this and that, or whatever, right? But with the lenses, if you see a person's, which they identify, because phones is a big statement now, I guess, in that world, right? They see the lens, they're going to know what you have, regardless of the color. Listen, even a phone's, the color of phones is irrelevant. How many people are walking around with no cover on their iPhones? As soon as you put the cover on it, it doesn't matter what color it is because the cover's on it. You won't be part of that world. That just won't be your world. Just like Tyler said, you're going to feel 10 feet tall and bulletproof. You are. It's just going to be a natural thing. People will feel it when you walk into a room, when you go to meetings at work, especially at work. People are going to know you're different, especially in meetings. The way you're going to speak to your superiors, your bosses, they're going to know you're different because the way you're going. Now, you're not going to speak to them rude or disrespectfully. You're just going to speak to them with a different tone. What is that tone? That tone will be, I don't have to be here tone. I'm choosing to be here tone. That'll be your tone at work. You won't be so not friendly. You won't be like, when you're at work, you'll realize that 99% of the people at work are there because they have to be there. You are there by choice. So your friendships will be very, very particular, especially at work. Because the majority of people who are friends at work, they're friends because they have to be there. They both have to be there. So they might as well get along and be friends. The Matrix is real, but LJ, what do you say to people who says we all die, we're not going to take anything with us when we die? I believe they say this to justify financing the things they want. Well, this is what I say to that. What they don't know that they're saying is that we all die, so I might as well be a debt slave today. I might as well be a debt slave the whole time I'm here because we all die. That's what they're saying, but they don't know that they're saying that. We can't take it with us. Take what with you? You don't have nothing to take with you. If you're a debt slave, listen, if you're listening to this, you don't have nothing today to take anything with you. So of course you're taking nothing because you have nothing. A debt slave will say in a minute, oh man, I'm gonna get a house so I can pass this house down to my children. Did you buy that house in cash? Because that's the only way you're gonna be able to pass it down to your children. You can't pass a mortgage just to anybody you want. You got to ask the bank for permission, and the bank has to know who you think you're going to pass it to. It's got to be somebody that can pay it. They're not going to pass the house down to your child because it's your child. Can your child pay this mortgage? No, then they're not going to allow you to pass it to them because it's not yours to pass. If you have a mortgage on your house, it's not your house to pass to anyone because it's not yours. And the matrix is psychological. The matrix is not a physical place. It's a psychological place. If debt were physical shackles on your hands and feet, you would do anything and everything to, I guarantee you this, put it this way. Let's use, I'm gonna change it from psychological to physical. I'm gonna change it to show you guys that there is a sixth sense and it's psychological. Now, if we change debt to physical shackles on your ankles and your wrists, I guarantee you wouldn't go out and finance a car and say, hey man, I'm gonna go get this car first. I'll get the shackles off later. I guarantee you wouldn't go on vacation with shackles on your hands and feet. I guarantee you wouldn't. You'd be like, I'll wait till I get these off and then I'll go on vacation. You wouldn't wait. Like, here's another example. Say like you had $10,000 in student loan debt and somebody gave you $10,000 in cash. And you take and you say, well, I'm going to invest in something, and then I'll flip it and then I'll pay off the student loan debt later. But if you had shackles on your hands and feet and it cost $10,000 cash to get them off today, you would pay today. You would say, here, take this money. I'll earn the money later, but I'll earn it better with no shackles on my hands and feet. And what if every time you went to go with the shackles on your hands and feet, every time you go finance a car, it adds links to your chain. Your chain becomes longer and dragging. People could hear you coming. So like everywhere you go, you have to lift up your chains before you go in somebody's houses so you don't scratch up their floors and their car. Nobody would let you ride with them in their car because they'd be afraid that you're going to cut their seats up with the pointy ends of the shackles and drag the chain across the bottom of their car. Wouldn't that be embarrassing? The reason why you don't think it's embarrassing because there's psychological chains on your hands and feet. You can't see them. You can't feel them, but they're there. They exist. I promise you, they are there. Andre's right. They don't want to pay. You guys don't want to pay the cost. What's the cost? And now, if you're new to the channel, you want to know the cost, log into your online credit report, scroll down past your credit score. See that big number right there? See that big old number? Put a negative in front of it. That's how much it's going to cost you to be free. That's your price. Are you willing to pay it? That's your cost. That's your cost. That's how much it costs you to be free. Because what you guys don't know is that your credit reports, those are really owner ledgers. That's how they keep track of all the businesses that own you, debt slaves, you. That's how they keep track. That's people who own themselves. There's nothing on it. You might see a credit card. You might see one credit card balance on it, but that's about it. That's about it. And that's what I do, Tyler. I'm bringing what's psychological to the physical, so they can understand what it is, because it is. And but if you've been wearing them all your life, you don't know that. You don't know debt. is shackles on your hands and feet. It is. No matter if you go on vacation, no matter if you go on you buy a new car, whatever, right? They're still there. It's a sixth sense and it's psychological. That's why I chose sixth CENTS, because it achieves the same thing, physical and psychological. When you hear the word, you think of sixth sense psychological, but then when you see the word, you see the CENTS, you know I'm talking about money, physical. It achieves both. It feels like a superpower. I always try to tell people your confidence will go through the roof. It it won't matter your setting. It won't matter who's around you, what they have. If they're a debt slave, they're just a debt slave. And you don't care about the opinions of debt slaves. They could call you names. They could call you ain't nothing. Look at your shoes. Your pants ain't this. Your brand name ain't that. Look what you're driving. If they're debt slave, you're like, I don't care what you say, debt slave. I don't care what you're saying. None. But they won't even believe you. They'll believe that they're hurting your feelings. No, you're not. You're not. You're a debt slave. I don't care what debt slaves think. Debt slaves don't own themselves. That's just like you caring about the opinion of a person that doesn't own themselves, and you did the hard work to own yourself. That doesn't make any sense. Because to own yourself, that takes hard work, dedication, and sacrifice. I damn near went through all the steps with Tyler paying off his house, going through it as he paid, because I'm pretty much the only person he could tell, besides his wife, of course, but I'm saying I'm pretty much the only person he could share this information with and be excited for him, because the average person with the mortgage, you try to tell them that you're paying off your house, they're not going to be excited for you. Because you guys will immediately start thinking, oh, he only can do that because he has this job. He makes this much money. And it's always a reason why this person's able to do something. Always have an excuse to why you can't do something. Anyway. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. Just let you guys know that is my true purpose, to inspire you and motivate you. That's my purpose. Use this ability, sixth sense ability, to understand, to let you guys know it's real. It's 100% real, without a doubt. And all you got to do is, you got to step one, you got to own yourself if you want to ever know what I'm talking about. What you say, funny thing is, all of this is elementary math. Like LJ said, 5th grade math. It sure is. Simplistic. Simple. Before I go, I remember saying, I used to always hear that every now and then, and I can't remember who said it. It would say, life is simple. And it really is. Once you own yourself and you remove all the negative people and energy, it's simple. Everything is simplistic. It's not as hard as what you think it is. It's just, And the best part about it is dreamless sleeps. When you can go to sleep and don't have a dream, that's the best sleep. Because when you're in debt, you stress a lot. You got problems. If you got problems, boyfriend, relationship problems, bill problems, debt problems, collection problems, you're dreaming about it too. You're going to sleep dreaming about it, because that's your life and reality. So of course you're going to bring it over to your dream. And you don't really get good dreams. You don't get really good sleep because you're dreaming the stress and negativity. When you own yourself and you don't have that in your life, you have what's called dreamless sleep. You don't dream about anything. You wake up and you don't dream about nothing. You just have a good sleep. That's the best sleep. I can't even tell you. It's wonderful. All right, you guys. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful morning. Rest of your morning. All right. Until next time. Later.